Hey, you, her ex said loudly, pointing at her like she was invisible. Since you're already dressed like staff, why don't you serve drinks? A few people laughed. Someone whispered. Phones slowly lifted. The black woman froze, the silver tray trembling in her hands. The glasses clinked softly, and that tiny sound somehow felt louder than the music playing in the background. She hadn't expected this. Not tonight. Not here. Not in front of so many people. Her heart pounded in her ears. She had promised herself she would never feel this small again, not after the nights she cried alone, not after rebuilding everything from nothing, not after learning how to stand on her own. But humiliation has a cruel way of finding you when you least expect it. She lowered her eyes, fighting the burn in her throat. Her fingers tightened around the tray, and if she refused, he would make it worse. If she reacted, people would laugh more. If she walked away, he would follow. He always did. So she took a step forward, and that's when a deep, calm voice cut through the room. "Give me the tray." The music didn't stop, but everything else did. Heads turned. The man in the wheelchair, silent the entire evening, extended his hand. Cold eyes, sharp black suit, presence that didn't need noise. The woman hesitated. Her ex smirked. "Relax. He's just bored. Give it to him." She slowly handed the tray over. The man took it, steady, controlled. And in that moment, the entire power dynamic of the room changed, because the man holding that tray was not just another guest. He was the one people whispered about, the one nobody wanted to cross, the Korean Mafia boss, and someone had just humiliated the woman standing beside him. Her name was Naomi Carter. 3 years ago, Naomi believed in simple things: stability, loyalty, effort. She didn't care about luxury or status. She just wanted a quiet life with someone who respected her. That someone was Brandon. They met in a bookstore cafe on a Sunday afternoon. Naomi was reading quietly when Brandon sat across from her without asking. "You look like someone who overthinks everything," he said. She looked up, confused. "Excuse me?" He smiled. "That book. People who read that usually analyze life too much." She closed the book. "And you sound like someone who talks too much." He laughed. That was the beginning. Brandon had ambition, big dreams, but no money, no connections, no direction. Naomi saw potential in him. She admired his confidence, and he admired her stability. They balanced each other. Slowly, their lives merged. He moved into her apartment after 3 months. She didn't mind. He quit his job to focus on business. She supported him. She worked long hours while he planned ideas. She paid bills while he pitched investors. "You're going to see," he used to tell her. "One day I'll give you everything." Naomi didn't care about everything. She just wanted him. But success changes people. And Brandon changed fast. The first thing Naomi noticed was silence. He stopped calling during the day. Then he stopped telling her where he was. Then came the new clothes, expensive suits, luxury watch, designer shoes. "Investor meetings," he said casually. She smiled, proud of him. But something else changed. He stopped introducing her as his girlfriend. Instead, "This is Naomi." Just Naomi. At parties, he left her alone. During conversations, he ignored her. At first, she told herself he was stressed. Then came the lies. He would say he was working late, but his social media showed parties. He said he was traveling. But friends saw him in town. Still, Naomi stayed. Because love makes you patient, even when patience hurts. It was raining that night. Naomi cooked his favorite meal, spicy garlic chicken. She wanted to surprise him after his big deal. She reached the penthouse. Music echoed outside. Her heart sank. She knocked. No answer. The door was slightly open. She stepped inside. Champagne, laughter, loud music, and Brandon, holding another woman, his arm around her waist. Naomi froze. He saw her. No guilt, no panic, just irritation. "What are you doing here?" he asked. Her voice shook. "I brought dinner." The blonde woman laughed softly. "Who's she?" Brandon shrugged. "Someone I used to date." The words shattered everything. Naomi felt like the ground disappeared beneath her. "Used to?" she whispered. He sighed. "You're sweet, Naomi, but you don't fit my world anymore." No apology, no explanation, just dismissal. She placed the food on the table and walked out. That night, she cried until sunrise, and then she rebuilt herself. 3 years later, Naomi was stronger. Not happier, but stronger. She worked 2 jobs, saved every dollar, avoided relationships. Love felt dangerous now. One rainy evening, she got a delivery request to a private hospital wing. Security outside, restricted floor. She knocked. Inside sat a Korean man in a wheelchair. Still, calm, observant, scars near his temple, and eyes that looked like they had seen violence and survived. She placed the food down. "You didn't have to come yourself," he said quietly. "The app assigned me." He studied her. "You're not afraid?" She shrugged. "You're in a wheelchair." He almost smiled. That was the first time she saw warmth in him. She kept getting assigned to him. Coffee, tea, soup. They spoke little, but silence felt comfortable. "You work a lot," he observed one day. "Yes." "Why?" "Because life is expensive." He nodded slowly. "You don't complain." "No one listens." He looked at her differently after that. One evening, she brought homemade soup. "You didn't order this," he said. "I know." "Why?" "You looked like you needed something warm." He stared at her, then at the soup. That day, he trusted her. Weeks later, he was discharged. Naomi thought she'd never see him again. Then she received an envelope. Inside, a luxury gala invitation. Handwritten note. "Come. Kang." She hesitated, but curiosity won. She borrowed a navy blue dress, arrived at the hotel, immediately felt out of place. Then she saw him. Mr. Kang, wheelchair, black suit, surrounded by powerful people. They treated him with respect. No, fear. That's when she realized. He wasn't just a quiet patient. He was someone powerful. And then she saw Brandon, standing near the bar, laughing, confident, her past, walking toward her, and the night began. Naomi's breath caught the moment she saw him. Brandon looked exactly the same. Confident posture, expensive suit, that familiar smirk, the one that used to make her feel safe and later made her feel worthless. He hadn't noticed her yet. For a second, Naomi considered leaving, just turning around, walking out, disappearing before he could see her. But then she remembered something. She wasn't the same woman anymore. She didn't need to run. She didn't need his approval. Still, her hands felt cold. Across the room, Mr. Kang was speaking quietly with several businessmen. Even seated in a wheelchair, he somehow controlled the space. People leaned toward him when he spoke. They listened carefully. They nodded respectfully. Naomi didn't understand who he really was yet, but she knew one thing. He wasn't ordinary. She stepped toward the refreshment table, trying to stay unnoticed. Too late. Brandon's eyes landed on her. His expression shifted instantly. Surprise, then amusement, then something darker. Well, he walked toward her slowly. Naomi stayed still. Naomi, he said, smiling like they were old friends. Didn't expect to see you here. Hello, Brandon. Her voice stayed calm. He looked her up and down. Wow, you clean up nice. She didn't respond. He leaned closer. You working this event? No, he chuckled. Relax. Nothing wrong with honest work. A few nearby guests glanced over. Naomi felt the familiar heat of humiliation creeping back. She picked up a glass of water. I'm here as a guest. He raised an eyebrow. A guest? He looked around theatrically. Interesting. I didn't realize they lowered standards. A few people laughed softly. Naomi set the glass down carefully. I hope you enjoy your evening. She turned to walk away. He stepped in front of her. Still sensitive, huh? She looked at him directly. No, just uninterested. That hit him. His smile tightened. You always had attitude, he muttered. Then his eyes drifted to the tray in her hands. She had picked it up absent-mindedly while moving aside for staff. And that's when he decided to humiliate her. He snapped his fingers loudly. Hey, since you're already holding that, why don't you serve drinks? Laughter. The exact moment from earlier. The room shifting. Naomi froze. Her fingers tightened around the tray. He pointed toward a group behind him. Start with them. Someone whispered. Is she staff? Another chuckled. Naomi felt her throat close. 3 years. 3 years of rebuilding. And in seconds, he dragged her back. She took a slow breath. Just walk away. But before she could move, give me the tray. The voice came from behind. Low. Calm. Controlled. Naomi turned. Mr. Kang. He had rolled forward silently. And his eyes were fixed on Brandon. The entire mood changed. Naomi handed him the tray. He held it effortlessly. Then he looked at Brandon. Who asked her to do this? Brandon shrugged. Just joking. Mr. Kang didn't smile. She is not staff. Brandon laughed. Relax. She used to help me all the time. The words sounded harmless, but the tone wasn't. Mr. Kang slowly placed the tray on the table. You should apologize. Brandon blinked. Excuse me? You humiliated her. Brandon smirked. And you are? Silence. A dangerous question. One of the men near Mr. Kang stepped forward. Sir, Mr. Kang raised a finger. He looked at Brandon calmly. My name is Kang Jae-min. The reaction was instant. 2 businessmen nearby stiffened. One nearly dropped his glass. Someone whispered urgently. Brandon frowned. He didn't recognize the name immediately. And then one of his associates leaned toward him and whispered something. The color drained from Brandon's face. Kang Jae-min? Mr. Kang watched him. Yes. The realization hit. The shadow investor. The logistics king. The man rumored to control shipping routes across Asia. The man rumored to have connections. Dangerous ones. Brandon swallowed. I didn't know. Mr. Kang's voice stayed calm. You didn't ask. Naomi stood frozen. This felt unreal. She looked at him differently now. This quiet man was feared. Mr. Kang spoke again. You pointed at her. Silence. You laughed. No one moved. You tried to make her small. Each sentence heavier than the last. Brandon's confidence crumbled. I was joking. Humiliation is not a joke. The room stayed silent. Mr. Kang turned slightly. Do you want him removed? He asked Naomi. She blinked. And the power of that question shocked her. Everyone stared at her. Naomi shook her head softly. No. I just want to go home. Mr. Kang studied her, then nodded. But he wasn't done. He turned back to Brandon. You built your company recently. Yes. Your shipping contract ends tonight. Brandon froze. That's my biggest deal. Mr. Kang didn't blink. It was. He nodded to an assistant. Within seconds, phones came out. Messages sent, calls made. Brandon's phone buzzed. He looked down, then again. His face turned pale. They're canceling. Mr. Kang spoke calmly. Actions have consequences. People began stepping away from Brandon, distance forming. No one wanted to be associated. His empire collapsing in real time. Naomi watched in stunned silence. She never asked for revenge, but justice had found him anyway. Mr. Kang turned to her. Shall we leave? She nodded. He rolled beside her. Behind them, Brandon stood alone, and for the first time, Naomi walked away without feeling small. Naomi didn't speak until they reached the quiet hallway outside the ballroom. Her heart was still racing. Everything had happened too fast. The humiliation, the silence, the reveal, the collapse. It felt unreal. Mr. Kang stopped beside the tall glass windows overlooking the city. Lights stretched endlessly below them, glowing like a silent ocean. I hope I didn't overstep, he said calmly. Naomi shook her head. No, you didn't. She paused. Why did you help me? He looked forward, not at her. Because you once helped me. That was just soup. He turned slightly. No, he said quietly. It wasn't. Silence settled between them. For a moment, they simply stood there, two people from completely different worlds, connected by something neither fully understood. Naomi exhaled slowly. I didn't know you were this powerful. He gave a faint smile. You never asked. I thought you were just a patient. I was, he replied. For a while. She hesitated. What happened to you? Mr. Kang didn't answer immediately. His fingers rested on the wheelchair arm. An accident, he finally said, but something in his tone suggested there was more. Naomi didn't push. She had learned that some stories reveal themselves only when ready. Instead, she said softly, Thank you. For tonight. He nodded once. You handled yourself well. She laughed quietly. I froze. You didn't break. That meant more to her than he realized. Back inside, Brandon was unraveling. His phone wouldn't stop buzzing. On emails, messages, calls, every notification worse than the last. Contract terminated. Partnership paused. Meeting canceled. We'll revisit later. He wiped sweat from his forehead. This can't be happening. One of his business partners stepped away. Sorry, Brandon. I didn't know you were involved in this. I didn't do anything, but it didn't matter. In the world of power, perception was everything, and he had just insulted someone under Kang Jae-min's protection. That alone was enough. Within minutes, Brandon found himself standing alone. The same people who laughed with him earlier now avoided eye contact. The same crowd that admired him now distanced themselves. Humiliation. The very thing he tried to inflict now wrapped around him. Naomi looked down at Mr. Kang. You didn't have to destroy his business, Mr. Kang's expression remained calm. I didn't destroy it. You canceled his contract. He built his company on one dependency. That was his mistake. She studied him. You're very calculated. Yes. No denial, no apology, just honesty. She folded her arms slightly. Do you always do that? Control things like this? He looked at her. Only when necessary. And this was necessary? He disrespected you. The simplicity of his answer stunned her. You barely know me. He paused. I know enough. Their eyes met. Something unspoken passed between them. Warm, quiet, unexpected. Naomi looked away first. The city lights shimmered below. So, what happens now? She asked. He answered without hesitation. You stop working 2 jobs. She blinked. What? You deserve better. She laughed nervously. That's not how life works. It can be. She shook her head. You don't even know my skills. You're observant, calm under pressure, kind without expectation. She stared at him. That's not a job description. It is. In my world. Her curiosity deepened. What world is that? He didn't answer directly. Would you like to work with me? The question hung in the air. Naomi hesitated. This felt dangerous, not physically, but emotionally. She had just escaped one powerful man in her past. Did she really want to step into another? What would I do? She asked. Assist me. With what? Life. She smiled faintly. That's vague. He returned a small smile. Intentionally. Before she could answer, footsteps approached. 3 men in suits bowed slightly. Chairman, the car is ready. Naomi noticed something. They didn't just respect him, and they feared him. Mr. Kang nodded. He turned to her. May I drop you home? She hesitated, then nodded. Yes. The car was silent. Luxury interior, dark windows. Naomi sat across from him. She couldn't stop thinking. This man, who she brought soup to, controlled powerful businessmen. He spoke quietly. You live alone? Yes. Safe building? Mostly. He nodded. I'll arrange better security. Her eyes widened. That's not necessary. It is. She shook her head. I don't want to depend on you. He looked at her carefully. Independence doesn't mean refusing support. She didn't reply, but his words stayed with her. After a few minutes, he spoke again. Why did you help me in the hospital? She thought. You looked lonely. He didn't expect that answer. No one talks to powerful men honestly, she added. I mean, you did. You were just a quiet guy in a wheelchair. He smiled slightly. That was refreshing. The car stopped outside her apartment. Simple building, modest neighborhood. Mr. Kang looked around. You work hard. Yes. You shouldn't have to. She opened the door. Thank you for tonight. He nodded. Think about my offer. She stepped out, then paused. One question. Yes? Why me? He answered immediately. Because when I had nothing, you treated me like I mattered. Her chest tightened. She nodded softly, then walked inside. Naomi leaned against the door after entering. Her mind raced. Everything had changed. Her past confronted, her dignity restored, and a mysterious man offering her a new life. She walked to the window, the same black car still outside. After a moment, it drove away. She whispered quietly, "Who are you? Really?" And far away, inside that car, Kang Jae-min watched the building disappear. For the first time in years, he felt something unfamiliar. Protectiveness. Not because she needed saving, but because she deserved better. And anyone who hurt her would regret it. Naomi didn't sleep that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the same moment. Brandon snapping his fingers, the laughter, the tray trembling in her hands. And then, "Give me the tray." Mr. Kang's calm voice, the silence, the power shift, the reveal. She turned on her side and stared at the ceiling. 3 years ago, she walked away broken. Tonight, she walked away protected. It felt unreal. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. "Hello?" "Good morning, Naomi." She recognized the voice instantly. Mr. Kang. On her heart skipped. "Good morning. I hope I didn't wake you." "You didn't. I sent something to your email." "What is it?" "A job description." She sat up. "You were serious?" "Yes." She opened her laptop. An email waited. Subject, personal assistant, chairman office. Her eyes widened. Salary listed below. She froze. It was more than she earned in a year. Her voice softened. "This is too much. You'll be handling sensitive matters." "I don't have experience." "You have judgment." She stayed silent. He spoke again. "Come to my office today. No pressure, just talk." She nodded unconsciously. "Okay." The building was massive. Glass exterior, private security. Naomi felt nervous walking inside. Receptionist immediately stood. "Ms. Carter, Chairman Kang is expecting you." That surprised her. They already knew her name. As she was escorted to a private elevator. Top floor. The doors opened to a quiet, elegant office. Mr. Kang sat near the window. Wheelchair, dark suit, calm presence. He looked up. "You came?" "Yes." She sat across from him. "I still don't understand." "Why me?" He answered calmly. "Because you're not impressed by power." "That's not true," she admitted. "I'm very impressed." He smiled faintly. "But you don't fear it." She thought. Maybe he was right. He handed her a folder. "Trial period. 1 month." "What would I do?" "Manage meetings, filter people, assist in decisions." She nodded slowly. "Okay, I'll try." That was the moment her life changed. Naomi adapted quickly. She learned schedules, handled calls, organized meetings. But something surprised her. Everyone respected her, because she worked for him. Yet Mr. Kang never treated her like staff. He asked her opinions, listened carefully. "You're too trusting," she told him once. "Explain." "You approve deals too fast." He nodded. "Good observation." He canceled the deal. She blinked. "You listen to me?" "Yes." She realized something. He trusted her. 1 week later, trouble returned. Naomi was leaving the office when she saw him. Brandon, standing near the entrance. Her stomach tightened. He looked desperate, tired, disheveled. Nothing like before. "Naomi?" She stayed calm. What do you want? I need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. He stepped closer. Please. My company is collapsing. She said nothing. I didn't know who he was. I swear. That doesn't matter. He looked panicked. Can you talk to him? She shook her head. I know. You work for him now? Yes. Then help me. Her voice hardened. You didn't help me when I needed you. He flinched. That was different. No, she said quietly. It wasn't. He looked defeated. Just ask him. Please. A voice behind her spoke calmly. She doesn't need to ask. They turned. Mr. Kang. His presence immediately changed the air. Brandon stiffened. Mr. Kang. Mr. Kang rolled forward slowly. You're trespassing. I just wanted to talk. You already did. At the gala. Brandon swallowed. I made a mistake. Yes. Please, give me another chance. Mr. Kang looked at Naomi. Do you want that? She shook her head. No. Mr. Kang nodded, then looked back at Brandon. You have your answer. Security stepped forward. Brandon panicked. My employees, families depend on me. Mr. Kang spoke calmly. You should have thought of that before humiliating someone. Brandon's shoulders dropped. He realized it was over. As security escorted him away, he looked at Naomi. Regret filled his eyes. But she felt nothing. No anger, no pain, just closure. That evening, Naomi stood beside the window in Mr. Kang's office, city lights glowing. You handled that well, he said. I felt nothing. That means you healed. She nodded. Thank you. For what? For seeing me when I felt invisible. He looked at her. You were never invisible. Silence. Then she asked softly, why do you really protect me? He answered honestly, because you treated me like a human, when everyone else treated me like power. Her eyes softened. And now? Now, I want you beside me. Her heart raced, not fear, something warmer. She smiled. I think I'd like that. The city lights shimmered below. Once, she was humiliated holding a tray. Now, she stood beside the most powerful man in the room. And this time, no one would ever make her feel small again.